Hey, what's up guys? Tuki here, back again with another episode of Project Tranmere, and in this episode, the goal is the same goal we've had for 3 seasons now. Don't be fired. Right now, we're off to a half-decent start in terms of achieving that goal. We do have a cup match here coming up against Sheffield United in the Carabao Cup. But in the league, we're looking okay, kind of. 10th place right now, 8 points through 6 games. Not exactly off to a flying start, but it's still early enough that the season could truly go either way. I'm going to try to make as much progress as I could. My God, it hurts to look at that transfer budget still sometimes. We are going to try to make as much progress as we can, so let's get right down to it, shall we? As far as who the training is being focused on, I genuinely don't know. We gave it to those guys over the course of an international break, if I'm not mistaken. So I think I'm going to try to get Duarte to an 86. I really can't help him. He'll reach an 86 on his own sooner rather than later. Breen and Luna, you guys get to play quite a bit, though. I think that's what I'm worried about. I think that's the main thing that I'm worried about. Let's focus on Gilquiesta and Ponce still. Of course, as we try to build up that right-hand side, it'll be pretty beneficial for those guys to get a little bit of extra work. And as a matter of fact, because of the massive injury to Ronaldo Granero, Reese Harris is going to get a little bit of focus as well. I might default to Williams, the center back, to be the last guy here as we continue to try to get him towards first team contention. So let's do that. Those will be the 4 players that we focus on. And Harris is up to a 71, which is good because he will be starting this Carabao Cup match. Of course, with Walter Mayr being our first choice option, that game is the first thing we will be simming through in this episode. So let's get down to it. September 20th. I'd like to make it relatively close, if not exactly, to the deadline, or, the transfer deadline window, to the window, essentially. It's where I want to make it. Not towards deadline day, but I want to make it to January, see if we can move out a couple more players. Wales, no thank you. And Granero is nearly back. Diaz, you can make a request all you want, but you're not a part of my future plans, and you're not getting anywhere near the field. So this will be the lineup for this game: Breen, Mayr, Berezovsky, Diaby, De Groot, Cano, Richardson, Williams, Wright, Johannessen, and 71 overall Harris getting his first ever start for the team. And pressure is on because an early exit from the Carabao Cup would be devastating, and we win 3-0. Hat trick for Moritz Mayr. Well done. We don't have to worry about that. Of course, we want to survive in these cup matches for as long as we possibly can, as Monaco's in for Fuentes, who, again, I don't think we'll be using this year, but next year, more than likely, we'll start branching out and having wingers as a preferred formation. Fuentes is good to go. Villalaba is good to go. But the options on the right-hand side, of course, are lacking a little bit. But a big win there is, of course, I want to be able to have those guys on the second team play as much as possible. Our first team is good to go, basically 100% healthy, aside from having Mayr between the sticks. But he's an 82 overall. It's not as if it's a 65, right? We should be okay. West Ham might be a decent challenge, though. They don't do too well against the top teams, but mid-table teams, it can go either way, and it does there. Pavlenka, it's hurt in 85th minute, but they get the goal, 39th minute penalty. Held up as the winner, and that is going to drop us back into 11th, so not devastating, but not exactly the way that I wanted to start things off here, with a loss in the league where, again, the pressure is on, not just to, finish top 10, but I mean, man, they want us to finish top 4. That's going to be very, very rough. Actually, yeah, top 4, top 5. I might be able to get away with finishing in a Europa League spot, basically, is what I'm alluding towards. So we get a loan offer for Chiesta. We'll accept that. And then this should be for Luna, the striker. Of course, we had Adalberto Luna not that long ago. Luna's actually not that bad of a player, but again, we have other players ahead of him on the overall depth chart. As Fuentes will be going out to Monaco. So that'll be a big step up for him playing in League 1 in France. Monaco's not in France. I know, but it's part of League 1. Trust me on that one. We also get a transfer offer for Ramon Galeano. I thought that was going to be Eugenio and I was going to lose my mind. Ramon Galeano, though, same story. Looking to loan or looking to sell him, as there are just other players who are way too far ahead of him in the depth chart. So we'll see what happens there. And of course, being a little bit nervous in terms of not wanting to loan out too many players, wanting to leave our options open to sign some top talents. Fulham is next. Fulham needs to be a win. We need all 3 points here. Diaby wants to play. The Luna transfer talks have broken down. Oh, Diaby. You know, I'll give him a chance. I will actually give him a chance. He and Cano. I'll give them an opportunity here. Because the other two more defensive midfielders right now are struggling a bit. Not to mention Jay Morgan is struggling a little bit. As is O'Leary. But he's kind of too good to... You know what? I'm gonna give some players a rest. Outside of Mayr, everyone else I want to have in somewhat good form. So let's see what we can do here. We're desperate for a win. A little bit of a risk to take out an 89 overall right back. But we'll give him a break for a game. And it worked. As Moritz Mayr off the bench saves the day. But the problem is he was off the bench to replace Duarte, who goes down with an injury. And that could be relatively devastating. We do have decent striker depth this year. But depending on how long this injury is for, 2 months with a broken ankle for Duarte. And that is fairly devastating. But again, if we had to suffer an injury in any spot, striker, I guess, would be the preferred option. Especially now because that means someone like Moritz Mayr is going to be able to step up full time. I do want to double check this team. Let's get everybody back to where they should be. I'll base it off of that. I love how Morgan sits for 1 game and complains about, I'm not playing enough. It's the best. I love it. So let's bring in Altonen and Cordoba, and everything is basically set up. So that means Kelly will be moved up to the bench. He'll get a few more opportunities, which is fairly nice, but that's going to be the first team moving forward. Mayr has been in really good form this season, though. So, I mean, he went through a rough stretch over the past couple of seasons, but he's bounced back to be in somewhat decent form, as Harris is already up to a 72. So, again, not preferred. I would have much rather had Mayr be the option for the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, but he's looking okay. 72 overall isn't that bad, especially if we end up with a couple of lucky draws and don't come up against any bigger teams. We get a transfer offer for Noah Cameron. I doubt it goes through. If it does, I'm okay with it, even though he's promising. It's just, again, too much of a logjam. Out of Japan, Hikaru Murakami will be signed. Kirkawa, I'm going to wait. Goro Hagiwara. Oh my god, and his name is Goro. Also, he's white. Yes, welcome. My god, Japan was beneficial for us. Ishiro Ishida, I'm also going to sign, probably. I mean, man, you know what? A lot of these guys might end up getting cut, but holy hell, Japan. I can't pronounce your last name, and you're going to be gone. Anyway, Haberhaber's a 63. El Hindi's not looking that bad. Gil Galeano's a monster. We have some unreal talent. Some just absolutely unreal talent in this system right now. Absolutely insane. So, you know what? I do think for the rest of them, actually, we have to wait. The bar has been set so high that even a 68 to a 94, 6'6", Japanese national Goro Kirkawa is not an automatic signing. As crazy as that is, not to mention, we still have 2 other reports coming back. Reese White, 70 to a 90. I'm going to have to hold off on that, but we'll keep an eye on him. 73 to a 94. Dominic Davies is also not a guarantee. Dominic Lee might be worth signing. Even Isaac Mitchell is probably worth signing, but I can't sign anybody unless I see an 80 as the low-end number. That is the bar right now. Jonathan Collins, very close. Very close, but I think an 80, even Toby Robinson, there is some amazing talent that we are being made aware of here with those 3 nations. But again, I think an 80 as the low end has to be the bar right now, and that is insane to think that the bar is that high for those that we will be looking to recruit, as a couple of players are no longer available for us here. A lot of players out on international duty. So I think I'm going to focus, I don't really want to focus on Correa or Cameron because, again, they're going to be gone sooner rather than later. If I can get Arne up to the next overall, I'm not going to be able to. He's not going to have any key stats that'll go up high enough. Let's focus on De Groot. Again, try to get that, that stamina up there. bump up the shooting as well. It'll take another week or so for him to benefit from attributes going up, but put a little bit of focus on him. He still has the special tag, or at least he did at the start of the season. Scotland manages to pick up a win, potentially. Chiesta, loan offer. Will that go through to DC United? Maybe. I feel like it's more likely than someone being sold or loaned to a Austrian club, for example. Again, it's kind of frustrating that you always get these offers that just never go through. When, I mean, okay, like on the bright side, perfect example, clubs like Bradford City should be in for your players more so than random Polish clubs that the guy will never accept going to. So we end up having to play Spurs. This could suck. The first team is pretty much good to go. Back to what we would prefer it to be, with the exception of Mayr being in rather than Duarte. Spurs aren't exactly in the greatest form, but it's not the worst form. We have home field. Can we get the win? We get a draw, and I'll take it. Mayr scores in the 6th minute. Harry Kane ties it on a 60th minute penalty. It still sucks, but hey, I'll take getting a draw against a perennial top team. Although I don't think they've won the league in this. If they have, it was only once. As Harris is up to a 73. So again, looking very good for those tournament matches that we're going to have to start focusing on very, very soon. Granero. Oh, that's right, Ronaldo's back to 100%. I forgot about that. Hopefully we can sell Gil Luna here, and we will be bringing back Granero, who I completely forgot was already back to 100%. I forgot that warning message. I was like, oh yeah, he's good to go. He's just been sitting there. So, who knows if we would have won. I honestly didn't think he was going to be back that soon. Chiesta's been loaned out, and Granero will be making his return against Huddersfield, which should be a win, but we play Chelsea on the weekend. I'm going to play the second team against Huddersfield. I would rather us try to pull off an upset victory against Chelsea and continue onward in a tournament than, you know, I'd kind of rather prefer to sacrifice what's going on here. So technically, I want to put Granero back on the first team, and we're going to be starting a second team here against Huddersfield that should be good enough to win. So obviously Harris won't be in. It'll be Mayr, which is fairly promising. And the other Mayr here, Moritz Mayr, will be on the bench to start. And I think for the most part, that's exactly what we're looking for. As far as like our pure second team is concerned, no Morgan, no Marnay. Yeah, we're good. So that'll be the second team, with the only difference being Jonathan Kelly getting the start rather than Mayr. Let's see what they can do. I would expect a win. Huddersfield not in the best of form. They just got smashed by Arsenal. We should be capable of doing the same thing. It's another draw. I guess I'm okay with the fact that we didn't lose, but I really feel as though that second team should have been capable of walking away with a win there. And now if the first team loses to Chelsea, then I'm really going to be looking like a bit of an idiot, having wasted a potential 3 points in the league and then only to get bounced in a tournament as well. Not a good look. So I desperately need the first team to save me here, or we're going to be ending October on a very down note. But it is Reynaldo Granero's return, as everything's breaking down outside of Chiesta going to MLS next season. And we'll see what we can do here against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. They are in decent form. They did just lose to BSC Young Boys, so we might have a decent chance here. 3-2-1, 2-1 loss. Mayr gets the lone goal. 2 goals for Brielle Mbolo, and we are bounced from the Carabao Cup. And again, we end the month of March on a the month of October. It is the month of March IRL, of course. I'll try to sell Correa here as I try to regroup and not cry myself to sleep over that mistake, and of course us losing, the mistake of mismanaging lineups. Oh, good, we get to play City next. Great, great. Everything's coming up Millhouse. We're not on track. Yeah, you don't say. You don't say. About time in January I have to buy Messi or whatever to try and bail us out of this disaster. The first team, not all of them are at full fitness, but they are still going to be playing. If we lose this game, I might start building the lineup based on form rather than anything else. Hello! That is not what I was expecting. Mayr and Johannessen, we got a 2-0 win against City. It's still a decent lineup there, though. It's not their strongest lineup, I would assume. Not, you know, Gabriel Jesus was on the bench the whole time. I'll take it. 76-minute winner from Johannessen off the bench. That is a big win for us. They are in 8th. We are back in 10th. Major moment for us there to be able to pick up all 3 points, especially after losing to Chelsea just a few days before. But I'm not going to be afraid to mix and match the lineups here. If someone's underperforming, I don't care how high their overall is. If we're losing and they're in bad form, it's not going to help. So we get another transfer offer for Luna. For the love of God, somebody take him, because I can't get that whole, oh, put him on loan and then change it to transfer and hit accept. I can't get that to work for me. It never does. The deal always falls through anyway. As that goes down, we have a loan offer for Ponce, which would be nice to let him go for the rest of the season. Jay, you're welcome. Keep doing well, buddy. We play Bournemouth here on Saturday, on November 7th, 2026. Chile, no thank you. And we have our final few reports here, and this is going to be very interesting. Goro Krakawa, I'm going to sign. Zeshin Ishihara, hell of a name. We'll look to sign him as well. El Hindi's an interesting one. The problem is he's a 47 at 15 years old. He's not going to be that bad, but he has to go. Is there anybody else whose numbers have dropped? Murakami is 38 at 15 years old. It's going to take him a while to build up. I'm going to let him go. Is there anybody else? Ishiro Ishida is going to be dropped. And from there, I think we're okay. So I am still more than likely going to sign. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sanetomo Hiranuma. My god. Japan is insane. And the thought of, hey, what series are you doing after this? If we do focus on, you know, just a sole nation and have our club be players of only one nation, look to take the international job. I mean, Japan was going to be up there for the votes. And, yeah, they might win now. I know it's all RNG as far as how good players are from certain nations, but good lord. If our luck is anything like it is right now in that potential series, we'd be looking pretty good. The main thing I'm looking at here is overall. So with Oscar Granero, I might be able to build him up still. There's a chance of that. He is the lowest overall player on the team, 16 years old. That potential is probably too, you know, it's too high to really drop him, I think. But that leaves the question of what the hell to do with Ishihara, who's got to be a midfielder. He's got to be a CDM. There's no way he's going to be a center back at 5'5". So I'm tempted, but yeah, we're going to have to hold off. There are just too many other players that are just too damn good. Let's see, or New Zealand, not Australia. First, Reese White, 76 to a 94. Who else do we have? 75 to a 93, Dominic Davies. Dominic Lee's 75 to a 91. It's so tough. Oh my god. It's so tough to turn down some of these talents. It really is. But again, I think it's either I sit here and sign a bunch of people who are going to be sitting on the roster and doing nothing, or again, we have to stay strict to that 80 being the limit. And again, some of those guys might jump up to an 80. I'm going to look at Kurakawa here, or Kurgawa, I should say. He's going to be dropped, I think. We have too many other keepers who are guaranteed to be ahead of him. So we're going to drop him. And of course, yeah, even someone like Hiranuma is an absolute monster. Like, we have not had a lack of high-end goalkeeping talent at all. Although, 89, 17 and a 63. Yeah, they're all really good. They're so good. 76, 75 to a 93, 75 to a 91, 77 to a 94, Peter Harrison. 77 to a 94, 76 to a 94. Reese White's a 18-year-old, 49 to 59. Harrison is 17 years old, 54 to a 72. It's gotta be, if I'm signing anybody, it's gotta be Peter Harrison for sure. And everybody else will hold off on. They're all going to be lost to time as we double-check Australia. Jonathan Collins is not good enough. Is there anybody else who was 76 to a 92? Toby Robinson, 58 to a 70 for a 17-year-old. There's a chance of him being an absolute monster. 72 to a 94 for Oscar Phillips. I would imagine with his height, he's a center back, but more often than not, they end up being right backs. All right, there's only one that I'm really interested in here, and it's Toby Robinson, who we know is going to be a cam, especially based off of that passing. But I don't know if there's anybody that I can cut to make room for him. I mean, the plan was to move out a couple of more players before, the beginning of the season to bring in some extra talent, but that's just not happening. I'm going to let him go. And to be honest, we probably don't even need to keep scouting at this point, but we will. Let's see what else we have going on here as that World Tour continues. Andrew Kennedy, you will be going to Korea. Callum Morris, you will be going to China. And Mark Barr, you get to go to Saudi Arabia. No comment. But there you go. So it'll be China, Korea, and Saudi Arabia as the next few countries to scout, as I add them to the list of places where we have gone. And now our focus turns back to the situation at hand, this game on the weekend against Bournemouth, where we are, I don't want to say desperate to win. Ponce, yeah, you're not playing. Sorry. Sorry, I'm valuing wins too highly. I don't want to say it's a must-win game, but it kind of is. Like, it really is a game that we should be winning at this point with this team. As Johannessen's still in good form. I gotta be honest, I'm going to try this. I'm going to move in Johannessen. I'm going to move in Wright. Is there anybody else who's in good form? Diaby's in good form. So, Cordoba, hate to tell you, but you're going to take a seat for Diaby. And aside from that, we're good. Like I said, I'm going to start trusting people who are in good form to continue to put in those good performances. Especially with us being out of the Carabao Cup, I am going to have to reset the second team at some point once we start FA Cup matches. But let's see what we can do on the road here. They just lost to Arsenal, which continues to be a trend. We give up a goal 3 minutes in and end up getting a 2-2 draw. Mayr in the 85th salvages a point. Again, though, another disappointing performance, and I can't help but think that we're going to find ourselves in just a tad bit of trouble. We're, 11, 12 games into the season, but still, that feeling of us underperforming is absolutely there. I am going to be taking Harris out of the training rotation, with him now being up to a 74. I mean, both Manchester clubs are down. I mean, they're just ahead of us in the standings. It's not as if you have every team that you would expect to be towards the top of the league table there. And early success doesn't mean a ton, per se. I mean, think about Everton last year, where somehow we finished basically at the same level, even though they were in the top four for the majority of the season. Ponce has been loaned out. We'll see if we can sell Correa to a random Polish team, because why not? Those will never do go through, but we'll still give it a shot. And let's see what we can do here training-wise. Not really sure how to focus on. We have a lot of players, again, out on international duty. And I think I'm going to start focusing again on just trying to get players up to the next overall. So Diaby is going to be a focus this week. Try to get him up to a 74 if we can. And actually, there was one that was threatening for him to go up to the next attribute. That would be ball control. So we'll try to get that, even though it's a gold challenge. And, I'm going to keep focusing on Diaby. Let's just make sure you get up to that next level, because you should. Focus on the vision as well. And who else? Who else on the main team is close to going up another point? It would be Anthony Williams, our hopeful #1 center back of the future. And let's focus, let's keep focusing on Williams just to get him there. The dribbling, it's not really going to help, actually. Never mind, Anthony. Sorry. Is there anybody else? My God, the goalkeeping talent is just so disgustingly good. Peter Harrison, why not? Why not try to get you up to that next level? Screw it, you're someone who's close to going up. You end up not doing so, though. Williams is somehow the only player to go up an overall point in that situation. I mean, I'll take it. Again, he's probably the biggest project we have on the club right now, but not exactly what I was expecting. It's Everton on the weekend. Do we have a midweek cup match? We do not. Again, more transfer talks break down which is not surprising. And let's see what we can do here. Speaking of Everton, of course. Is there anybody who deserves a little bit more time? Johannessen's not in the best of form right now, so we're actually going to keep Bailey out of this game. We'll stick with Wright, since he's in a little bit better form. Galeano is also not at 100%, so you know what? We're going to play Williams in this game. And let's have Weber on the bench. We'll give our main two starters a little bit of a break. Medved's still good to go. He's an absolute monster. Diaby will probably play, potentially. I might go with Cano. Altonen's going to sit out of this game. Diaby will at least be on the bench. We're going to go with Cordoba and Cano. With Temu not exactly in the best form. Aside from that, I think we are good. Highest rated players, factoring in current form, we are good to go. Of course, all these guys, too, down here at the bottom. Beyond the goalkeepers, we're not really worried about. So let's see what we can do here. A win would be tremendous. They actually lost to Huddersfield, but beat Brighton and Arsenal. Again, everybody plays Arsenal. 3-2-1. Ugh. Medved gets the opening goal. O'Leary gets a red card after back-to-back goals from Mayr, granted 20 minutes apart. That's a rough loss. And one has to wonder what we need to do to spark this team. Our grade's holding at a very nice 69. However, it's just something's off with this team. I mean, we're set up in a formation that really should benefit the current crop of players. Man, Kean Breen's actually looking pretty damn good. I don't really know how I want to set him up. Try to get that attack position up, I guess. As Diaby and Harrison end up each going up by that one overall point that we were hoping for. I'm not sure if it's going to require a formation change, but again, formation-wise, we're kind of set up exactly, as we should be. Excuse me, in terms of, having everybody in a position to succeed. And it just hasn't been there for us today. But maybe we'll continue to change things if moving players around hasn't exactly gone as I would have hoped. Noah Cameron, you will not be starting. Of course, we're not taking the Welsh job. Cameron and Williams, you are welcome. Well, Cameron, you're not. Williams, you are very much welcome, though. And really, when I think about it, as O'Leary, of course, will be out of this game. Two-striker set. We kind of need... There's really nothing else we could do. Aside from dropping out of a two-striker set, which doesn't make sense because, again, we have so much striking depth as it is. We need to make the most of it. I mean, the only thing that I could really think to do in terms of a formation change would be something like this. And then you know what? I'm going to try it because we might as well see what's up. So technically, we're going to be running 3 strikers in this game. It's going to be Kelly on the bench. I'm going to give Breen the opportunity. Montandon's going to be the man. Actually, Breen, in fairness, has a good amount of physicality. I'm going to try that. I'm going to go Mayr, Breen, and Montandon. And we'll see what happens there. And then in the midfield, let's just go with... it's kind of a tough call because Morgan's not going to play. I'm actually not sure entirely what to go with here. Again, this was a very unexpected change. I'm going to focus on the defense first. Johannessen's going to be in, obviously. Let's put Galeano back in. And then Medved is a constant for us. So let's go with Richardson and Williams. Harrison Wright can take a seat. Rather have Williams potentially sub in if needed. Altonen's still in pretty bad form. But I want to give him an opportunity to make something happen. And I think I'm going to go with a more defensive 3. I'm going to go with Altonen, Cordoba, and Cano. And we'll see what happens with those 3. I could technically move Altonen a bit further back. Could move him like down there. Have like the flying V going up the middle. It might be the better way to do it, actually. Let's go with Arne and Berezovsky. I'm actually going to have Altonen on the bench behind Cordoba. And that team, I mean, it's an interesting attempt, right? I mean, technically, Breen's going to be a striker. Technically, Mayr and Montandon are wingers, although, yeah, if I move them slightly over, they're counting as left forward, right forward. Berezovsky left center mid, Arne right center mid, and Cordoba as a CDM. I think we're looking okay. I don't really want you as a left wing back, though. There you go, just straight left back, left center back, right center back, and right back. And that should do it. I'd like to think we can pick up a win here. But I have been incorrect in my optimism at times. Morgan and Altonen are going to sit. You're in bad form. Screw it. Sit. Snap out of it. We'll get you back into the lineup. Is that too much tinkering? Too much overthinking? Perhaps. But we desperately need to win here against Forest. They're in terrible form. A draw will not do. And we do get the win. Breen actually missed a pen. He could have gotten his second goal of the game. Galeano also scored. So we fight back from 1-0 down to take the 2-1 win. And we do get all 3 points, which could see us move up in the table, and it does. Currently tied with, 4-7th with Southampton. We're off on goal differential, though. So, hey, the top 5 is in sight. And that's exactly what I was hoping for. So, overall, we're looking okay. We're going to try to get Breen up to that next level. Is there anybody else who's really close to going up another level here? Cano and Altonen. I mean, granted, you two both play a little bit more regularly, but still, we can put a little bit of focus on those two. I'm surprised Altonen still has the promising tag. I know he's 23. He's been such a long-term member of this team, too. Can't help but wonder if he's the captain of the Finnish team. I would like to think so. And again, defensively, at least in terms of tackling, he's an absolute monster. But we'll try to get those two up to the next level. Prove that midfield. Maybe that's what Altonen needs to snap out of this run of poor form. As we have Duarte getting ready to come back from injury, which would be a nice little boost. It was nice to see that front 3 there get us some goals. So we have 2 emails here. December 1st, U-Squad monthly reports. And Kian, you're very welcome. As we have a game coming up against the previously mentioned Southampton. We are currently tied, currently tied in points, but they have the advantage on goal differential. Big time game for us here, then. To try and jump them and move that much closer. We're 5 points back of Liverpool, who are in a top 5 spot. Reece Harris wants to play. That is absolutely not going to happen. And I'm going to sim this game before I sit here and worry about what's coming up next. So as far as the team is concerned, I think for the most part, it's going to stay the same outside. O'Leary's in bad form, huh? Shit. Not great. Let's put O'Leary on the bench. You know what? It's tough. I never know whether or not to play someone in form over a higher rated. I'm going to have O'Leary be there. Let's have Altonen on the bench. Let's have Morgan on the bench. And they'll at least be options as opposed to being completely out of the team. I think that's the way we're going to do it, though. Johannessen's still going to start at right back. At the very least, though, it's not like I'm dropping an 89 right back for a 72. It's Johannessen. He's very much starting caliber. Let's see what we can do here. We host Southampton. They're not in the best form lately. They are playing European football, though, as they played Zagreb. And we get a draw again. Mayr, the lone goal. Bailey picks up a slight injury. Not enough to take him out of the game. But still, struggling to score goals, no matter the formation, with this attacking threat that we have, is simply not good enough. It really isn't. You would expect, or at least I would, so much more than what we've seen thus far. Yet, here we are, disappointed yet again at the result of a draw. Again, maybe the expectations are too high. I'm not sure. We'll focus on Fuentes. Try to get him up to that next level. Again, we're not going to focus on Cameron or Correa. This dude who has one hell of a name. Let's try to get that bumped up to the next overall. And Miyoshi. Ryo Miyoshi. I'll also try to get him bumped up as well. And we still have one more spot. Really? I thought that was 5. Damn it. Let's go for... Again, Altonen's too high of an overall for it to matter. Fatih Gandor. The Gandor. The Splendor and the Gandor. That gets him up to a 60. He was the only guy to go up an overall point, though. 99 finishing for Fuentes, by the way. Again, if I was playing this, actually, I'd move him to striker, obviously. So Archie Bailey's going to be out for a month. Yeah, Reese, well, don't get a big head just because you started a couple of games. Saudi Arabia, what do you have for us? Keep that statement in the context of a soccer game, please. Amita Sear, no, I mean, there's some good players, but nothing too crazy. Again, we're looking for that 80 overall, or the 80 potential for the low end. And so far, not too good. Although, Il Young Ko could be a bit of a monster, but we don't know yet. We do have to wait. Nothing doing from the first 3 reports back from Korea, South Korea, China, and Saudi Arabia. Let's move forward here. We are cruising towards January, making relatively good time, although the the amount of players, number one, going out on international duty, forcing us to change up the training tactics, and then the amount of underperforming players certainly continuing to cause issues. Gil Luna, hopefully you will go to TFC. That would be great. As we get ready for this game against Wolves, where again, a win would be lovely. Splendid, even. So please, game, if you would, do me a favor and have my team score goals. We're not on track. Yes, I'm aware. Thanks. Thanks. So Bailey's not going to start. O'Leary is back, and Johannessen's not really in great form. Bailey's going to sit. I think we'll have Williams there. Let's get Wright onto the bench. And aside from that, we're looking okay. Altonen has snapped back to reality. Why is God, EA, you suck at this. I love it. Like, hey, we fixed this. No, you didn't. You really didn't fix it. It still glitches out, and it's still so stupid. So stupid that it does that. Oh, Altonen's going to be back in the lineup, and I think we'll probably leave Arne and Berezovsky there as well. Yeah, we're pretty much good to go. Cool. Well, let's see what this team can do then. Another mix and match team between ideal first team and second team players. December 13th against Wolves. They did just beat Valencia, and I would imagine the Europa League. But still, we need a win. This shouldn't be their starting team then. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Oh, this team is broken right now, man. Galeano picks up a slight knock. We lose 2-0. We couldn't score a goal against Wolves. What is going on with this team? Why are we underperforming to such an extent? It's going, I mean, we talked about it at the beginning of this episode. The goal is not to get fired. I'm on track right now to risk it at the very least. It's looking like that much more of a possibility as this team continues to struggle, especially on the offensive side of things, and there really isn't an answer as to why. So Roldan will get moved into training. He ends up going up. Kiesta was the only player to not go up an overall point. Fuentes hits an 80. Absolutely brutal. Again, we decided on playing players within the defined roles, which seem to have worked, but right now the offense has just run dry. Like, we are not outscoring these teams. Wolves are in 13th, and we got shut out. We should be better than this. And it's just a wonder of whether or not RN Jesus is going to be on our side as we play Man United next. Oh my God. It's just a matter of whether or not RN Jesus is going to be on our side to the point that we can actually find success here without playing. And right now, it's not looking like it. Oh, of course those broke down. Transfer offer. Yeah, great. Another random-ass Polish team that in no way will be able to seal the deal. FIFA, please. Please, please, please. Can we fix this? As far as the team is concerned, I genuinely don't know. I genuinely do not know what I want to do here with this squad. It's a really tough spot to be in right now. I think I have an idea, but I'm not completely certain. But I think what I want to do, and I want Breen up top just because of how physical he is, but I'm going to have it be Kelly, Montandon, Mayr. As insane as that is, and it's not exactly playing guys within their defined roles, but we're not exactly scoring goals either, so I just genuinely don't know what to do here. Like, do we have a 3 center back set that is good enough to shut people down? If so, switching to 3 at the back could work, just to try and get more possession and really get the offensive side of things going. It could technically work. No guarantees, though. But, I mean, right now, I am just desperate for this team to start scoring. So, screw it. Maybe we'll try it. What's the worst that happens? We lose again? It's against United. We're probably going to lose anyway. Mayr's going to be between the sticks out of necessity. The problem is with Williams and Medved, there's no real positive form there, so it'll be Bailey and Weber that also draw into this lineup. So it'll be Williams and Galeano on the bench. So I'm not starting Medved, I'm not starting Johannessen, I'm not going to be starting O'Leary. Then again, we can't use that set because we don't have proper wingers, or at least we don't have one on the right-hand side. That's good enough to get the job done. I am desperate for any solutions to this. I'm trying to remember what formation we were using back in the day. I think it was the 4-3-3, where we just randomly started finding results and started to win games. And who knows, maybe it is due to a lack of, an attacking option on the wing. Maybe that is what's screwing us up right now. Although it was the tree, right? I'm pretty sure it was the Christmas tree here that we were using. The 4-5-1. That was resulting in us winning games. So I have to wonder if I might even play Ponce on that right-hand side and just see what he can do. I might do it. Defensively, left back in this game is going to be Richardson. Center backs are good with Bailey and Wright. The right back is going to be Johannessen. If I can hit the right button, it is. And then defensively, let's go with Weber and Roldan on the bench. As far as the midfield is concerned, right now it's looking like it might be Cano. Mayr's in good form, so crazily enough, I might play or might start Montandon on the bench. Although, granted, I am going to get Fuentes in there. Duarte's back from injury as well. That could have been a big part of the problem. So we'll have Montandon there. Again, we have so much striking depth that only playing one up top seems like a waste. It really does. Oh man, what are we gonna do? I'm racking my brain right now trying to think of any solution to what's gonna get this team to start scoring. And you know what? I'm gonna go with the wide variant here that I talked about earlier. I feel like could be exactly what we're missing. So we're gonna go with Duarte and Breen on the bench. Altonen's out, Arnay is out. And starting Cam will be Berezovsky. And I think Cano will start at CDM. I'm going to play Ponce on the right. There's really no harm in it, although actually Cano won't be starting. That'll be Cordoba. And we should be okay. Cordoba, De Groot. You know what, Cuesta, congratulations. You're going to be on the bench rather than Romero. And we're going to start working you into what the team's doing. Because, damn it, we are desperate to have this team start putting up goals. I mean, maybe it's an overreaction, I'll admit. Maybe it's an overreaction to getting shut out against Wolves. But, again, I'd still like to think that we are better than that. Let's see if the team can prove it, though. Well, we're going to run with this option right here. Berezovsky, it's Montandon, Mayr up top. Let's see what happens. Mayr getting a chance between the sticks. Trying to throw anything at the wall that we can to see what works. It might not be the best team to do this against. Even though they're in terrible form, United always sim well against you. And it's still De Gea between the punt. Yeah, there you go. Lukaku scores. Wright ties it. And we end up getting the 2-1 win. Fuentes. All right, Abilo Fuentes is here. He makes the most of his opportunity in his first ever start, scoring the winning goal against Manchester United in the 58th minutes. And that might be the catalyst to completely change our plans heading into the back half of the season. Because again, with Fuentes on the left, he's great. Now, that's not to say I can't recall Villalaba and put him on the right. I mean, obviously, his secondary position is as a right wing. It would make sense. And we don't really have a natural right wing that's up to par. We have Ponce who's about to be loaned out. And we have, for right mids, Youngbauer is close, actually. And, of course, the plan was loan out Youngbauer. Maybe he'll be ready next year. I think maybe we look to recall Youngbauer. And we go with Fuentes and Youngbauer on the out hands. You know what? That's exactly what we're doing. I mean, granted, it shows the lineup being completely fucked again. I have to wonder if that was the way it was for the game. But I think I'm going to let Villalaba stay out on loan. And we'll have Ponce for now. I think we have to completely look to change what we're doing here. I could recall Konstantin Zahner as well. But I'm going to recall Youngbauer, who is up to a 77, plus 3 on the season. And Walter Youngbauer is going to be starting this next game. I didn't even see who it was against. Burnley. It's going to be Fuentes and Youngbauer leading the way up top, or at least on the wing. As again, hopefully, this can be the catalyst that we need it to be to start scoring a few more goals, maybe not be as one-dimensional, playing through the middle, which apparently is just not going to work for us, despite the unreal amount of talent that we have going up the middle. So center back wise, there really isn't anybody who's close to going up a level. Johannesson's probably too high. Yeah, he's too high of an overall to get him there. So let's focus. I don't even know who the hell to focus on. I gotta be honest. Let's focus on Fuentes. Maybe, maybe not. Let's focus on those. Let's focus on Kiesta and Ponce still. We'll try to get those two up to par before they get loaned out, or at least Ponce is on the way to getting loaned out. And of course, with Youngbauer starting, we can't really say he's going to be missing out on much. Let's go for Shizuka, I guess. Why the hell not? Just a random guy from the academy. Give him a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. Kiesta's up to a 67, which isn't that bad. But needless to say, plans have changed with me having to recall Walter Youngbauer a little bit earlier than expected. But I'm hoping, granted half a season earlier than I expected. Bulgaria, no thank you. Tell Rusev I said hi though. And let's see what happens here. This game on the 24th against Burnley. Youngbauer will be in with Fuentes on that left-hand side. And if we pick up another win, needless to say, I think we'll be looking at a full-time formation change. So Youngbauer will be in. Again, we just need to skip over these guys. Granero will still not be in. Good chance of Galeano being back in the lineup. And you know what? Anybody who's not in good form, you're getting dropped. I don't even want to see your name. I don't want to see your face. Get away from me. Get away from me. So Mayr will still be up top. Berezovsky's there. Okay, all that's good. So we still have Duarte and Breen up top, but neither's going to be making it into the lineup here. As far as a cam is concerned, we're still good with Berezovsky. Youngbauer's good. I think overall the team's fine. And especially, too, I don't think we're going to get Galeano back into the lineup. Actually, we probably will. I think we will. Ponce is going to be in over Kiesta. Let's have Galeano in over Weber, and Galeano's going to be in for Bailey. He'll be next to Wright in this game, though. Mayr between the sticks because Ronaldo Granero is not performing to the level that someone of his caliber should. Let's see what we can do here. If we get a win, it's going to be a massive, massive boost and certainly a season-altering event. And we lose 1-0. Oh my God. Is there a correct answer here? I don't know. But we are currently in 11th. And I just don't know what to do with this team right now. Too much talent to be underperforming the way we are. Again, we're not like totally out of it. I mean, Everton's way up top though. Right now we are 9 points back of Liverpool in 4th. We only have 19 goals on the season. You would think our offense would be better than that. I mean, Crystal Palace has 30 goals on the year, right? Let's go look at Crystal Palace's lineup. And we'll see, is our offense in better shape than theirs? And the answer is yes. If you look at who they have on the wings, who they have at striker, it's 1,000 times better. it's so frustrating when you have a team that's this good underperform to this extent. We play Leicester on the 30th. We're going to get to January 1st, and then from there, we're going to take a step back and rethink what we're going to be looking to do with this team, what formation we want to run with. And based off of how we choose to approach that, that could alter who ends up being recalled, who ends up being sold. We play QPR in the FA Cup coming up. We get an offer for Ramon Galeano that will hopefully go through. And a youth player wants out. It is Gil Galeano, which is not that surprising because, again, he is an absolute monster. 91 to 94, 60 overall. So obviously we will not be letting go of him. Let's sim this game against Leicester. We'll hope for the best. And again, we'll end things there on January 1st. The young Bauer's already in negative form, so I'm probably just going to go with the highest overall team that we can run with. And we'll hope that that's good enough to get the job done. So Weber can go back down. And hopefully, we'll stick with the same lineup, or we'll stick with the same formation. We'll just optimize the lineup and hope for the best. So Duarte's back in over Mayr. We'll still have Breen in over Kelly. Alton in there. Berezovsky out for Arne. Still have Youngbauer and Fuentes out wide. Let's bring in Bailey for Wright. Let's bring back Medved and O'Leary. Bring back Ronaldo Granero as well. The bench will be Wright and Johannessen. I'm okay with that. And I think we're just about good. Maybe. Let's bring in Cordoba there, bring in Morgan there. Ponce can stay. Alright, we're good. Let's see what happens. It is essentially the highest rated team that we can run with everybody being in a natural position. If we lose to Leicester, who again have beaten Arsenal, everyone beats Arsenal, except for us. We need this win so badly. I'm sticking with it. I think that's former Liverpool goalkeeper Danny Ward between the sticks for them. We end up getting a goal in the 8th minute. It's Montandon, which is a huge pickup for us. They don't have that many big names that you would expect to see in their lineup. Fuentes scores in the 37th. I'm going to skip the rest. 3-0 is your final. Duarte scores in his return, and we at least end 2026 on a high note with a win. But again, as far as what we look to do with this team moving forward, I genuinely don't know. I want to take another look here at the Youth Academy. I don't know what the hell that sound was, as I just couldn't decide what to do with my face. But I want to take a look at the Youth Academy here because, again, we can try to hoard these players for as long as we can without actually signing them, but there is an ungodly amount of talent in the Youth Academy right now, with the exception of Ryu Miyoshi, who is going to be dropped. I wasted a training session on him, so I'm pretty upset about that. But again, an ungodly amount of talent there, which again, we'll probably try to hold out on signing them for as long as we can. But that brings us to what the team looks like right now. Goalkeeping-wise, it's obvious. Granero is our starter. We're going to let him run with it, although he's underperformed a bit this year. Three clean sheets and 12 appearances. It's not bad. A 6.1 rating on average, whereas Harris is averaging an 8.2. Granted, there was one appearance in the Carabao Cup, but he was great. Mayer's averaging a 6.3. So there's no doubt Granero's underperforming this year. Right back-wise, O'Leary averaging a 6.2 on the season. Johannessen a 6.3. Roldan's yet to see a start. So, it's still probably straightforward with O'Leary being the guy for us, but Johannessen has been the slightly better of the two, despite a 6 overall point difference, and O'Leary potentially being the highest rated right back in the game right now. You have Bailey at a 6.4, Galeano at a 6.5. Weber hasn't seen the field. Williams has really underperformed this year. Wright at a 6.3, and then Diaz hasn't performed, so our center backs haven't been great. It's just a whole lot of average, right? It's just a whole lot of average. No one's really performing. Like, Diaby's has the highest rating right now at a 6.9, which is very nice. If you look at the average ratings here, De Groot's not been that bad either, granted limited appearances. Nobody approaching. I mean, you have a couple of players approaching a 7. Mayr almost at a 7. Ponce is actually at a 7.1 in that one appearance for him, but we need this team to be better. Fuentes at a 7.2 through 3 appearances, 2 goals for him. We have a lot of options, right? We do. And if we want to, I mean, the first thing really is just to decide what formation are we running with. If we want wingers, then no doubt Mateo Villalaba could be recalled and we could have Villalaba and Fuentes with Villalaba on the right-hand side. It's just a matter then of, okay, if we want wingers, cool. Do we want 1 striker up top or 2? Do we want to be more attacking focused, more midfield heavy? We're struggling to score goals right now. And again, the pressure is absolutely on this season to do well. Reach the semifinal of the FA Cup. I mean, right now we're in the knockout stage before this matchup against QPR. As far as the signing player from the Youth Academy, that is what it is. And then again, we have to finish in a Champions League spot, which, like I said, if we finish in a Europa League spot, we might have a chance. But the board wants success, and I can't blame them because this team should be successful. Let me know if you have any suggestions. Otherwise, I'll continue to flounder and try to figure out just what the hell I want to do with this squad. But the next episode is very important. We might see the end of this season, depending on how many cup matches we end up being in, whether or not January proves to be that busy for us. Oh, boy. Never comfortable. That is the tagline for this series. We cannot have that smooth sailing approach. It's just not allowed.